Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Fairy Tale deck profile. So, this is actually a really fun deck to play. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, especially with the Golden Castle of Stromberg. I think that's how you say it, because that card was so crazy expensive for a while, but it got reprinted in Dual Overload. Yeah, Dual Overload, and it's that ultra rare is beautiful. Like, that is a really beautiful reprint, and it's like down like I think it was like 97 cents, something like that. So it's definitely way more accessible now. It's actually funny. I had ordered and had received the original secret rare ones versions, and then literally 2 days after I had gotten them, the reprint was confirmed in Dual Overload. And I was so pissed. But I guess it's cool to have the secret rares, but I was still like, gosh, you've got to be kidding me. But this is a lot of fun. I was actually able to beat my Blaze Blackwing deck, I think 3 or 4 times the other night with it. But let's get straight on into it, guys. Fairy Tales, a lot of fun to play. So what the first 3 we're playing is 3 Hextrude. Hextrude is your beater of the deck. Definitely your go-to for all the fights and stuff. So what Hextrude does is if Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field zone, you can normal summon this card without tributing, which is what you're going to do. Once per turn, if Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field zone, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize, but I think that's how you say it. Is in a field zone, you can target one card on the field, except this one, destroy it. And then if you do that, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls against 400 attacks. So a lot going on with this card. But it's all really beneficial to you and really sucks for your opponent. So basically, if you control Golden Castle Stromberg, you can just normal summon this card like it was a level 4 or lower. You can pop a card on the field, including your Golden Castle Stromberg, which is a kind of a combo to do that, especially if you have another one in your hand, or if you have a Glyph in your hand and you're confident your opponent doesn't have an Ash or something. So you can use that to pop on your opponent's card or your Golden Castle, and you would do that so you don't have to pay the maintenance cost of banishing 10 cards face down. It's kind of a way around that. But you can pop a card on the field, and then this card can make 2 attacks that turn. And so you make an attack, and then if you destroy an opponent's monster by battle, this card permanently gains 400 attack. It doesn't have to be this card. You can do it Princessin if you're attacking directly with Princessin. Your Iron Hans, I think it is, they can get up to 22, so you can make that 26. It's too late for math tonight. But so this is a really good card. It has a lot of really good effects. I definitely think this is a 3 of in the deck. For the next 3, we're playing 3 Glyph, the Phantom Bird, I believe is how you say it. Also beautiful secret rare reprints. Just prints. Beautiful secret rare prints. This is basically our searcher for the Golden Castle. So we're going to use this to you can discard this card, add 1 Golden Castle of Stromberg from our deck to our hand. If this card is normal, special summon, you can target 1 card in your opponent's spell trap card zone, destroy it. So it kind of has like a breaker ability a little bit. Or not breaker, I guess that's alternative blue has. Whichever one destroys spell traps or whatever. So it's really good if we get it on the field. More than likely, you're probably not going to do that. You're probably going to use it to search out your Golden Castle, but it's there if you need it as well. So you're always looking for Goliath probably in your opening hand. If you don't have a Golden Castle, you're definitely going to be looking for that. So next up is Princessin. This is a really cool card that combos really well with some of the other cards in the deck. What this card does is if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a Pumpkin Carriage from your hand or deck. Like I always say, being able to special summon from your deck is one of the most powerful effects in the game, and this card has that. Then, if Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field spell, you can equip 1 Glass Slippers from your deck to this card. So this card goes +2 off of stuff in the deck, and that's really good, especially if Golden Castle's in field zone. You get special summon a card directly from your deck, and then equip a card directly from your deck, and that's really, really strong. So you can equip a Glass Slippers from your deck to the card. You only use this effect to Princess once per turn. And then if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you can target 1 Glass Slippers equipped to this card and 1 face-up monster on the field, and equip that Glass Slippers to that target. So you might be wondering why we would do that, but we'll get to that in a second. So next up, we are playing 3 Pumpkin Carriage. So Pumpkin Carriage is really good. You don't, it's kind of flexible. You could play this at 2. If you wanted to. I think I want to play at 3. I like it at 3 right now. I might bump it down to 2, but I'm comfortable with where it is right now. But what this card does is it allows Princessin you control to attack directly. So right there off the bat, it allows our Princessin to gain that ability of attacking directly and getting that effect as well. And then your opponent cannot target Golden Castle Stromberg. you control with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So this is just a great card all around, allowing one of our monsters to attack directly to get their effects and then protecting our field card as well. Next up, I'm playing 3 Iron Hans. You could probably bump this down to 2 if you want, but I kind of like it at 3. If this card is summoned, you can special summon 1 Iron Knight from your deck, and then if Golden Castle Stromberg is not in the field zone, when this effect resolves, you can not special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, which, it probably is going to be. You can only use this effect of Iron Hans once per turn. Gains 1,000 attack for each Iron Knight you control. So if this card is on the field with Iron Knight, this card can get up to 2,200 attack, and that's really, really good. You could probably get away with 2 of this if you want, but this also summons out Iron Knight from the deck, and that's great. Speaking of Iron Knight, we are playing 3 of Iron Knight. So if I'm not playing Ash at the moment, so if you wanted to, you could get rid of 1 Iron Knight, 1 Iron Hans, and then 1 Pumpkin Carriage, and then you could throw Ash in if you want to. I think this is already a 41 card build. If you're comfortable with a 42 card build, you could maybe keep a Pumpkin Carriage if you wanted to. But anyways, this card loses 1,000 attack if you control Iron Hans, so it kind of balances itself out. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add 1 Iron Hans from your deck to your hand, or if Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field zone, you can add 1 Warrior monster from your deck to your hand instead. And you can only use this effect of Iron Knight once per turn. So this is a really, really great card to combo out with Iron Hans. Like I said, if you want to get rid of this Iron Hans and a Pumpkin Carriage to add Ash in, that's totally fine as well. Next up, for our definite MVP of the deck, we play 3 Golden Castle of Stromberg. I mean, that is arguably one of the best secret rares I've ever seen. That is just straight up beautiful. Definitely wasn't too upset when I got it, when I ordered them at the full price. But anyway, this card does a lot. So let's get into it. It's our field card zone, what our deck revolves around. So once per turn during your standby phase, you must banish 10 cards from the top of your deck face down. This is not optional. Or this card is destroyed. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 monster from your deck that specifically lists the card Golden Castle Stromberg in its text, which is more than likely what we're going to do to get a Hextrude if we need to, or something like that. You cannot normal summon, if we don't already have it in our hand. If you cannot normal summon or set the turn you activate its effect, even if this card leaves the field. So keep that in mind. If you decide to special summon from the extra deck, you cannot normal summon or set that turn, so keep that in mind. You can only use the effect of Golden Castle Stromberg once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster. So upon attack declaration, your opponent's monster gets destroyed, and that's not once per turn. It protects our monsters, and that's really good. And then if you do that, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack that the monster had on the field. So it destroys our opponent's monsters. They can't attack us, and then they take damage for it. So that's really, really good. Definitely looking for this card in our open hand. If not, we're definitely looking for Goliath to search out this card. Next up, we're playing 3 Glass Slippers. Now, this is the other one I was talking about with Princessin. So what Glass Slippers does is it's actually a really cool card. I kind of thought about running it in my Valkyries just to kind of see what it would do. But what it does is this card is equipped to a fairy monster. It gains 1,000 attack. So it gives our Princessin, I think, 1,300. I think that's what Princessin has. If this card is equipped to a non-fairy monster, it cannot attack, and it loses 1,000 attack. So that's the combo that we use with Princessin and Pumpkin Carriage. We attack directly with this card. It's equipped to it. We do 1,300 damage. If they have a problem monster on the board or something, we relinquish our control of this card, give it to our opponent, equip it to one of their problematic monsters. It can attack, and then it loses 1,000 attack, and that's really, really good. So good for us, bad for them, which is the best card. That's always great. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster was destroyed, you can target a princess you control and equip this card to that target. So, if we finally beat over their monster, something with Hextrude or something like that, or pop it doesn't have to be by battle, just is destroyed, you can just put this right back to our Princessin. And that's really, really good. I definitely think you should run 3 of, and plus it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful card. For the next 2, I'm playing 2 Iron Cage. I don't really think you need to play 3 of this, but this is a really good card. It's a little bit complicated, but it's really, really good. What it does is it's a continuous spell to when, if this card is activated, send 1 monster you control to the graveyard. Or if Golden Castle Stromberg is in a field spell, which it should be, you can send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. Doesn't destroy, doesn't target, it just sends to the graveyard, which gets around a lot of effects. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can target the monster that was sent to the graveyard with this card's effect. Destroy this card, and if you do, special summon that monster from your field to your field. Excuse me. So use this card to basically get rid of our opponent's monster, boss monster, problematic monster, whatever. Then this card will destroy itself, and then you get that card on your field, and that's really good. Like I said, I don't really think you need to run this at 3. It might get a little bit bricky, but you could try it if you wanted to. For the next 2, I'm playing 2 Gingerbread House. It doesn't really fall 100% to the fairy tale art type, but it's still pretty cool and pretty funny all the same. But this card is interesting as well, because what it does is during your opponent's standby phase, you can have as many monsters they control as possible, gain 600 attack. Now, why would we do that? Because then this card also has the effect, then destroy as many monsters as they control as possible with 25 or more attack. 2500 or more attack. And then if you do, you gain life points equal to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect times 500. So the attack gain remains even if this card leaves the field. So it's a trade-off. We bump up our opponent's monsters, which might seem bad, but we are really going to use that to destroy them. And then on top of that, we're going to gain life points off of that. And that's really, really funny. When my buddy had never seen this card, the Blackwing player, he found out what it does. He's like, wait, why would you do that? And then I told him. He was like, oh, no. He tried to pop that card immediately. He did not want this card on the field. He did not want this card on the field long enough to resolve during the standby phase. Which is probably, you really should run 2, I think, because they're going to try and get rid of this card for sure. So the next up, I'm playing 2 Twin Twisters just for some back roll removal. Cosmic Cyclone, stuff like that. That can be a pain for this deck. So stuff like that, I think it's good to run 2 Twin Twisters. I'm running 1 Gold Sarcophagus, and let me explain why. Because Gold Sarcophagus is really good for getting. It guarantees we can get out a Golden Castle and add it to our hand in 2 turns. But it also protects our Golden Castle from being banished by an activated Golden Castle's effect in the field zone. So if we use our Gold Sarcophagus to banish one of our Golden Castle Trumbergs, we don't have to worry about that one getting banished and the 10 cards they have banished face down in the standby phase. We don't have to worry about that. It protects it from that, and then we get 1 in 2 turns. So that's really good. That's why I play Gold Sarcophagus, because I'm always looking to add another Golden Castle to my hand. And then I'm playing 1 Terraforming just to add to the consistency of singing the Golden Castle, because we want to see it as much as we possibly can. Have a ton of searches of Gold Sarcophagus, Glyph, Terraforming, and then 3 Golden Castles. And then 3 Call by the Grave, because Ash can be just destructive against this deck. So we really don't want to have to deal with that, because that can really hurt, especially if we only have 1 Glyph in our hand and don't have any other Golden Castles or Terraforming or Gold Sarcophagus or anything like that. This can really help combat that. So that's it for the spells. Moving on to the traps, I'm playing kind of a tech card, 2 Gravelstorm. This card, a lot of people hadn't heard of this card before. What it does is you target a spell and trap card on each side of the field and return them to the hand. So I use this for a few reasons. You can use this to chain and bring back your Golden Castle if it was going to be destroyed or something like that. But you can also use it, during the end phase of your opponent's turn or whatever, to bring it back, bring your Golden Castle back to your hand, and that way you will avoid having to banish 10 cards face down during the standby phase as well, which is really, really good. You might even want to play this at 3. Honestly, this is a really, really good card. But I've seen plenty of it enough at 2. I always just see enough of it. But being able to do that, just be able to protect our Golden Castle and then bring it back if we're running low on our deck and we don't really think we can handle banishing 10 more, this card can really get us out of that, so we can avoid that and then play it again and get another free turn with our deck. For the next 2, I'm playing 2 Black Horn of Heaven. I'm sure some people are like, oh my gosh, this dude in Black Horn of Heaven. Yes, Noble loves Black Horn of Heaven. I understand that. I do, because it's a free summon negate. Because when your opponent would special summon exactly 1 monster, negate the special summon if you destroy it. That's really, really good. If you want to play Solemn Strike, I totally understand. Go for that instead. But I like Black Horn of Heaven. And then for the last 2, 2 Drowning Mirror Force, just for a little bit of protection. Drowning Mirror Force is definitely the best Mirror Force in the game, because it doesn't target and it doesn't destroy. So non-targeting, non-destruction effects are really good to get around a lot of protection. When opponent's monster declares a direct attack, shuffle all attack position monsters your opponent controls back into the deck. That is just a dick card. Like, this card can really hurt your opponent bad. So I like, if you only play one, I just like it for a little bit of protection, just in case we're not able to get Hextru down the field or anything like that. So that's it for the deck. This deck doesn't really have a specified extra deck. You can run a lot of generic monsters, extra deck monsters, kind of go for what you want. I'm not really worried too much about it. I'm really worried more about the main deck. I'm not really going too much into the extra deck. But you totally can. You really run whatever you want to run in this one. But definitely give this deck a shot, guys, because it's budget now. Because like I said, it got a reprint, and the ultra rares are really beautiful. Those are some beautiful ultra rares, and you can pick this up for cheap now. This is definitely a budget deck now. Hextru might be like a few dollars, something like that. But other than that, I think that's it. Yeah, guys, Fairy Tale deck profile. Give it a shot. Let me know how you guys do, how you like it. If you've played with this deck before, how your matches with it have gone. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be coming out with more videos later this week. I try to come out with several every week. And then hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team. And I will see you guys in the next video.